everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time I'm going to be doing a color change. As you guys can see, these clear nails are just not working for me. I guess I'm just liking too much polish and acetone, and it just messes up the bottom of the nail to where it no longer looks clear, and I hate how it looks. So I'm gonna just be removing all of these rhinestones, and then I'm just gonna be doing a color change. So remember that when I'm doing that, of course, I use a pair of nippers to remove the bling. So I'm just going to be using these, and thankfully I didn't do a color, because then if not I'll be having to remove gel polish, but I'm just going to go in with the nippers and just get rid of the bling. Whoo! Alrighty, so I'm finished removing the bling from this hand, and obviously make sure that when you're removing the bling that you're be careful, because if you seen when I was removing the bling from this thumb, the nipper slipped and I poked myself on my cuticle, so it is bleeding. So again, make sure that you're careful when you're removing the bling not to cut yourself. So I'm gonna go ahead and just wipe that off with an alcohol wipe, and it is gonna burn. Alright, but anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and just do the same thing on the other hand. And then I did switch nippers just because these are a little bit like easier to hold. Alrighty, so after we finish removing all of the bling, I'm gonna go in with my hand file, and I'm just gonna be reshaping my nails a little bit. Alrighty, so same thing for the other hand. Again, we're just reshaping our nails. We know that after a while of wearing nails, or for me, it's like after I finish doing a lot of nails, a lot of the time I file the side of my nails or something always happens, so I lose my shape pretty quickly. So I just have to go back in and just reshape it. Alrighty, so now after I finish reshaping my nails, I'm gonna go in with a sanding band, and I'm just gonna be using this to remove that glue that's on my nails. I don't want to use anything too coarse because I don't want to fall down on my nails, or basically I just don't want to thin them out. So I'm just gonna remove the polish off them. Alrighty, so I finished removing that top coat from this hand as well as the glue. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the other hand. Again, I'm using just a I'm using just a sanding band to do this because I don't want to thin down my nails. I just want to simply remove the top coat and that glue that's on my nails. Alrighty, so after I finish filing the nails with the sanding band, I'm gonna go in with a buffer and I'm just gonna buff them really good. That way they're really nice and smooth. Alrighty, so now they are nice and smooth, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go wash my hands and I will be right back. Alrighty, so I went and washed my hands. So now for the polishes, I'm gonna be doing a yellow. This is the one that I did on my toes as well. I posted the video where I did my pedicure. So if you haven't watched it, I'll be sure to leave the link in the description. But I'm using the gel polish and the regular nail polish in the color Summer Sun by D&D. And then I'm also using French Vanilla, which is the regular nail polish. And I'm also gonna use Ballet Slippers by Essie, which is just a really light pink that I use as a base when I do ombre nails. And then I'm also going to be using this holographic silver polish. As you guys know, I always use my Color Club color for underneath the rhinestones, but I kind of am really low on it. It's really empty already, so I'm going to go ahead and use this one by Born Pretty and the color Rose Road Series. I think that's what it's called. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this on my ring finger because that's where I want the bling at. Or maybe I want it, no, I'm gonna do it on my pinky. So I'm gonna do the bling on my pinky. And you guys know that I always do this color. That way if anything falls off, you know, it's not gonna be as noticeable because it matches the same color as the bling, which is that AB look. All right, so I think I want, let's see, what do I want? I think I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm trying to figure out, because again, I do want the yellow and then I also want the ombre yellow with nude, but I don't know what colors I want where. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do my ring finger and my index finger ombre. So I'm just gonna apply a really thin layer of the ballet slippers, or you can just use any light color that you have, or you could even use white depending on if you want the colors to be super bright. But you guys know that white is like really hard to use no matter what brand it is. White always comes really thick, so that's why I ended up switching over to just using a really light pink. I don't know if I ever mentioned that, but that's why I use this light pink as a base when I'm doing ombre nails. Alrighty, so then for the other two fingers, I'm just gonna do the gel polish. Again, this is in the color Summer Sun, and it's just a really pretty bright yellow. Alrighty, and then of course I'm going in with a brush with acetone to clean around my cuticle area. Alrighty, so I did the yellow on the middle finger and the thumb, so I'm gonna go ahead and cure those two, and I'm using my Abadi UV LED lamp. Alrighty, so I cured them for 30 seconds, so now I'm gonna go in and do a second coat. Alrighty, so I did the second coat on those two fingers, so now I'm gonna go ahead and cure it for another 30 seconds. Alrighty, so I cured for 30 seconds. So now for the ombre, again, I'm gonna be using the French Vanilla and the Summer Sun. And okay, so I applied the colors on the sponge, and when I'm doing ombre, I always apply the color that's going on the tip first, which is the yellow, and then I apply the other color on the back, which is the nude. That way they blend really well. So now I'm going to turn my sponge around, hold it on both sides, and I'm just going to dab it on the nail, making sure that I turn my finger over to the sides. That way we get a full coverage over the whole nail. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna go ahead and apply more polish on the sponge, and usually you want to do this like 2 or 3 times depending on how bright you want the colors, or you know, if you want a better coverage, then of course just go add some more. Okay, so as you can see on this one, the tip still needs a little bit more yellow, so I'm just going in one more time. Alrighty, and after you do the ombre, then of course just go back in and clean around the cuticle area to remove any of that excess polish. And I am gonna go in on this index finger and do one more coat, because I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's still like a little spot right there that needs a little bit more polish, but I'm gonna let it dry just a little bit before I go back in and add more. Alrighty, so while that index finger dries, I'm gonna go ahead and apply the bling on the pinky. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply the glue, and then of course with my wax pencil I'm gonna go in and just start placing the bling. I always start around the cuticle area and I work my way around the perimeter of the nail, switching back and forth between the two different sizes. That way they kind of just fit like a little puzzle. Alrighty, so I finished applying the bling on the pinky, and then I also went ahead and did the second coat, or the last coat, on this index finger, and we have a better coverage. And then I'm also going to go in and just apply a few rhinestones around the cuticle area on the middle finger and the thumb. Alrighty, so just like that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the thumb. Alrighty, so now I just apply the Mia Sacred Gel Resin Activator, and that's just going to help that glue dry a lot faster. And after that, I'm going to go in with the IBD Gel Top Coat. And remember that when you're doing regular nail polish with a gel top coat, you want to make sure that that regular top coat, or sorry, that the regular nail polish is 100% dry before you apply the gel top coat over it, because if not, your polish is going to crack. Alrighty, so I finished this hand. I've already applied the top coat and cured it. So now we're gonna do the exact same thing on this hand. So again, we're doing the ombre on the ring finger and the index finger, yellow on the middle finger and the thumb, and then all bling on the pinky. Alrighty y'all, so here is the final look. They turned out really pretty and they match my toes. This yellow is like the perfect shade of yellow. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GetNailed32, and I will see you guys next time.